is that meter gonna be bigger than 3/4 going in there?
I don't think we've got anything other than halves out there, do we?
Yes.
Most everything we put in are 3/4.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
It isn't, it says 3/4 good. Could be finished, but you.
Doesn't want to let me into the computer again, Lacey. I
Well,
don't know what I did last time to get in. Oh. Oh, maybe it's not.
Did I?
I just go back to
But when I got my bill this time, it said 0 on the.
Oh, I got it.
There was nothing on the water and there was nothing on
Oh, it is?
the. Yeah.
Did you make an adjustment?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Oh, because when you make an adjustment, everything ends up funny. It doesn't always, it adjusts it, not
Okay,
necessarily in the way you want it
It's
to.
probably the
So if
same
the end
as
amount-
Jean's, or Jean's probably is like that too then.
Yeah, if the end amount is the same, what's total owing is correct, then don't necessarily pay attention to the water
Jim?
sewer garbage breakdown, because when
I
you
would
make an
suggest
adjustment,
you
it has a
read
hierarchy
the
that it
ordinance
follows,
and then
and I don't know how your
Okay.
guys' is set up.
respond to
No,
that.
that's fine, I just
I
didn't
don't know
want.
what you did, but that's what I'm,
I just didn't want
Those-
somebody coming back and going,
Oh,
you
yeah,
didn't
no.
pay enough for, yeah.
yeah.
We can't make any.
So
Can't
no,
make any
it's
changes.
probably
Changes
whatever
to it,
she
yeah.
adjusted off,
Sure can let
took
everybody know
off
what's on
water
the books.
first, and
Yeah,
then
that
sewer,
sounds
and then
like that's
garbage,
since
usually that's how it
94,
rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
This
that's,
actually might be
You know,
garbage,
that's when all this
water,
would've
sewer.
been the last
no,
meeting.
ours
I think
is
it's
water,
water,
sewer,
garbage.
garbage.
That'd have been there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that adjustment on the account, we were
Is
working
that
on
when
it,
they
the
started
$14, that
doing
took it off the
the,
garbage.
Oh,
So
did
I'm
it?
thinking the hierarchy
that
actually
I
might
didn't
be
know. I
garbage
know that-
first.
Oh,
It's
I
listed
see
water,
what
sewer,
you're
garbage.
saying.
Oh,
But the
okay.
computer has, it's got a hierarchy
But I know
built in
that's
somewhere.
Okay, I got it.
So it may
Showing
have
up
removed your
users,
garbage
users.
charges, then your water charges, then your sewer charges,
Yeah.
or
Okay.
garbage,
I
sewer,
didn't know
water,
we
I don't
were
know,
using
we
that
could
time.
have Black Mountain fix it. I have mine set up to do water, then sewer, then garbage.
Well, and I wasn't worried about it because it just looked like you gave me the print off that day. But what it did is it basically took it all off that bill and
Well, we're not
printed
doing
it out on that bill. So
Right?
I am like,
It only looked like.
That still part's still
Yeah.
over my head.
But
As long as it doesn't say you owe
Oh,
anything.
really?
More than what
no,
you should.
no, it
Okay.
didn't. But
I-
Well,
Ready?
maybe she can explain it better if she looks
Yeah.
at it to me. Or maybe she'll see what.
And I do bring
Did
all
they-
the
did they
claim
look like
documents
they had
in
a
if
full
you guys have
staff?
questions on anything.
Yeah, they were definitely manned up. Well, it almost looked like they almost had more
I
than
just didn't
normal, I
wanna be
think, to
messing
cover
with
each
your-
section.
Oh, yeah?
So
Oh,
they're
no,
not
I
really doing each
don't wanna
other, but-
cause more problems than has already been caused. You know? This is really weird in here.
I feel like I'm gonna get attacked.
Is Jay coming, do you know?
No, he has no babysitter or something.
Oh, okay,
He gave me a
well,
list.
that packet back there with his name on it, you can have it then and give it to him.
Okay.
Did you put a copy of the table of fees in, by any chance?
Yes, you should, if you don't let me know, I'll go grab you one, but it's towards the bottom, I think.
Okay.
The only thing I didn't give you a copy of is ordinance 525, and you'll learn why if you don't already know.
Have you met my
I
dog
think-
yet?
I guess I'll just give it to you.
Did you get back?
There's the,
Oh, I don't, is it
I
sitting?
think she's got them.
Oh, gotcha.
you remember why we're not doing that, or you can default to me and I can explain it.
Pack house.
Which ordinance?
525.
525.
Okay.
243 is attached to Kyle's opinion, because it's in
I
reference to
just felt
243.
really over
Right.
ditch
Yeah,
things,
this
I
is
couldn't tell,
change
couldn't
date.
feel anything
Yeah.
to stop it.
Uh-huh.
That's a little sketchy. I get it now. Completely.
So, was there, Peck, I'm missing something, just,
Now what?
oh, I didn't know if there was another one printed up
Is there a packet for Nate?
Yeah, it was sitting there in front of your seat.
I didn't grab it.
Hold on, let me finish what I'm doing and then I'll.
And if not, yeah, not you.
You didn't fold it up, put it in your file, did you?
No, because the only thing I had here was my old crap kit. Unless, well.
I think that's
Yeah,
it.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is silly.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I was going through and I had one printout that looked the exact same, but I didn't look at the date.
You did, yes, there was those property renewals would be the same.
Passing me.
We can,
He obviously doesn't
He
need
doesn't need to.
notes in his phone.
Yeah, gee.
You want me to check it and make sure you got everything, or you?
no, I think everything's there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's there.
So what happens if she's the only one? We still just go on?
We run around.
You would not believe how
Parties.
often in Bridger, it's literally the council and the department heads and that's it.
Really?
Nobody comes to our meetings.
I was
Like
gonna
that.
say, we're the only town that has been. It's just like-
That's funny.
Unless there's a reason,
Oh,
like something's
yeah.
on the agenda that they,
Their own fan club.
Well,
I'll look at those when you're
you
done,
get
Bill,
to ask
and
any
in the minutes
questions.
ahead of time.
Well, hey, Josh, how you doing?
Jack, you good?
Can I steal those from you when you're done? Thank you.
Carol gonna be on the phone tonight?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
No.
We didn't have anything.
He didn't tell me that he was gonna, so, and he emailed just shortly before the meeting, so.
Might as well just call it garbage company and see what they're charging at.
Right.
Cause I mean, I guarantee you their prices aren't the same for a haul off anymore.
No,
There's no way.
no, not for as long ago as that.
Unless, yeah, cause,
These haven't been
Unless this is
updated.
cause I guess,
Does it tell you? Oh, it's 16, isn't it?
and I'm guessing these are like the ones for like, say, the trailer court or like the bar that are bigger.
Yeah, I was really hoping Jay would be here for some of that stuff, because I really don't have a knowledge base on that. Hopefully you do, Lacey.
Yeah, I just have his
No, we
And I-
kinda left it in Jay's hands to give us some idea of cost on some of these.
I have some of the things here, I have the cost of meter pits and curb stands
Oh, good,
and lids.
good. Well, you'll be able to share that with us. Thank you.
Well, I guess it's time. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, call this meeting to order. First on the agenda is public comment.
That's you.
Not to put you on the spot.
Okay,
The stand is yours.
we have no public comment. Okay, sheriff's report. Josh, we're
Good
glad you're
evening.
here, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Pretty quiet month overall for February. 17 calls. You know, ranging from civil process to shooting a deer to some scams. We had the scams were basically, what we found out later was they were actually somebody doing it on behalf of the detention facility, the proposed. It was all legit. I didn't know about it, so we had got some calls from people, but because there's evidently federal money that could potentially be involved in this, it is going around, and I don't know enough about it to dealing with the commissioners, but,
So they're asking for donations or?
no, I wish. It'd be more enough to donate for a jail. What they were doing is trying to get a survey, it was tied to the census, and I just don't know enough to really speak a lot on it, but it was, we had 2 or 3 calls out of Fromberg relating to that, so, but regardless, it was all legit, to leave it at that, so. Working with the school on some CPS with some kids, some stuff with, that was reported to us. And then we had one theft here in town. It was easily tracked down, it was recovered and decided, so. And it wasn't like a stranger theft by any means, it was both parties knew each other and somebody took it without permission, so. We had that one wrapped up in about an hour. Wow. Did have a wreck here just outside of town the other night. It sounds like that one was a pretty bad wreck, so not sure how, yeah.
5 miles
That's-
outside of Rockville.
Yeah, we've had a couple bad wrecks lately.
The roads were yucky that night.
Yeah, so not directly tied to here, but at least in the area. I guess the biggest thing is what we're really trying to get the word out is to the detention facility, getting that public involved.
How's that going?
Well, it's going. It's, we took a pause during COVID, have kind of really got revamped and kind of came up with a finer plan, and it's going to be about half the size of the original proposed. It's still over at Joliet, the commissioners did buy that land. A lot of work to do, but there's public meetings every other Wednesday night. So tomorrow night, and then a week off, and then it's frustrating in one aspect because it's probably one of the biggest financial impacts to people of the county, and yet we're just like the city council meeting. We have
Not a lot of input?
not a lot of input, at least to us. There is input, but it's
In interest.
it's not as much as one would think for the impact it could have on every single taxpayer in the
Right.
county. So we just take every opportunity we can just to share that, and we're really gonna ramp that up here this spring. They're looking at a August 3rd tentative as a mail-in ballot date that they'll count.
Okay.
That's kind of our timeline. A lot of things have been in the works, but it basically redesigned, and it's half the size. It's about a 50-bed deal. We'll know final design if it passes. Final design if it's 48 or if it's 54. But ballpark, And the one thing that we're learning, and we knew that came up when it was 100 beds, was trying to lessen the financial impact for the Carbon County taxpayer.
Right.
Because there was a lot of need. When we started talking about this, people were like, well, we want beds, we'll pay it.
Right.
That's how they got
Yellowstone was
to-
full.
Right,
That's
so,
their back.
and so that would offset the operating cost to Carbon County taxpayer. But unfortunately, even at the federal level all the way down to the state level, things have changed in the last few months. With a different administration, we tend to see different people in jail for different things and different approaches to law enforcement in general.
Has COVID had an effect on the numbers of people incarcerated?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, yeah,
Because
that's
they
what
were
I would have
taking-
thought.
Yeah, they pretty much will not take, Billings will not, well, I say that, and the last couple of weeks have been different, but as a general rule, Billings, YCDF will not take any of our people unless they're crimes against a person,
Yeah.
primarily domestic violence.
That's not new though, is it?
No, and it just has gotten worse.
Okay,
They're over 500 people, and there should be at 370.
right.
So a majority of our people are housed in Bozeman.
Or further.
Or further, yeah, Townsend. And primarily, the people that are in Billings have charges in Billings, so we're sharing it, and so we don't always get charged, but that's a fight every day.
Yeah.
If they charge us, I threaten to move them, so they don't charge us, so they don't gotta go get them. So we play that game all the
Right.
time.
So you've got deputies on the roads when
On
they're
the road.
icy and that's.
And they're gone from
that's a
here,
tough
and that's
deal.
what people gotta remember, they're
Yeah.
gone from here. And Bozeman is what, fastest growing community in the Northwest, percentage-wise? If not, they're in the top
Yeah.
5. And they've told us, this is a short-term fix,
Don't
we
count
can't be
on
your
us.
long-term. And we knew that from day one. So, those are all things we talk about, and we really encourage trying to get people involved in these. They are gonna try to have, I know at LEPC meeting Wednesday at Bridger.
Yep.
I think it's City Hall.
Yep.
We're gonna have a jail meeting at 6. I'm gonna try to get over here towards the end of that meeting and just, cause it seems like this area, we just don't have those meetings. In Joliet, there's an in-person meeting at the fire hall, and then they zoom into Red Lodge to the commissioner's office. And I would say, you know, gradually, maybe last time was 25 people maybe all total, Zoom both places.
Yeah,
And it just seems, and then the people that do show up want to argue about water and sewer, which have already been long ago.
resolve.
And so we spend all the time talking about that versus where we're at 18 months from that time.
Yeah,
So, you know, they are trying to get over here more. There'll be a lot of community meetings around the county, and we just encourage people to ask questions and
well,
be
they're sure
involved.
welcome to join our meetings, you know, monthly as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if they wanted to speak with
And I-
people.
And I think, you know, where we were at right now is we took the break, we kind of got sidetracked because I started to feel personally that it was too big and we might run into a jam of actually getting it built, but not be able to
The
afford to
100?
run it. Yeah, the 100.
Yeah,
Just because of all these other things. And,
Right.
you know, I took the input that we were getting. Basically, people said, focus on Carbon County. I said, understand, by doing that, it may cost you as a taxpayer a little bit more money.
right. All the burden will be on us.
Right.
Instead of spreading that out.
When I say more, I don't know if it's $10 more a year or 30. I don't know that number
There's no
yet.
numbers yet.
No, and so what we did is the county actually hired a buyer's agent that represents us. It's not me or the commissioners trying to figure this all out ourselves. We have somebody that looks at the plans and works strictly for us and says, no, that's a bad idea on the architect side,
That's
or,
good.
And you
or money.
guys hired Helptake, right?
Yeah,
as
but-
your ownership?
Yeah, same guy that's
They're
doing.
amazing.
Yeah.
They're doing the Jim Bond and Bridger.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
They're good.
So knowledgeable.
Yeah, I've met with them a couple times, me and Scott Blaine, the commissioner, and we brought it to the commission as a whole. And like everything, it costs money, but hopefully at the end of it saves money. And we
Right.
do it right. You know, the worst thing we can,
I'm encouraged, personally,
that's good to hear.
to
'Cause
see that.
the worst thing we can do is get this thing built and have it not be done right.
Right.
So we're taking a lot of steps. We took a step back. If there's, like one of the commissioners said, if there's any bright spot of COVID, it helped us in that aspect.
Sure.
Of just regrouping and taking the public input and looking at it as a whole. And I think we got a really solid plan going forward. And,
There was less pressure to hammer it through.
yeah, you know, there's a need for it, but I'm like, you know, 1 year and this whole thing is nothing.
Right.
Right now it seems like it, but you know, when we get it built in 10 years down, you know. But what's funny is, in 1971, the city of Red Lodge sent the commissioners, or vice versa, sent them a letter about the jail issue, the courthouse issue, and trying to work with them together on it. And Barb up there at the administrative office with the commissioners found that letter this week and sent it to me. I'm like, they were dealing with this in 1971.
40 years ago,
50.
50 years ago.
Same exact issue. And they haven't got anything accomplished.
That's slow burn.
So I printed that off. It's just ironic, but yeah.
I do have a question
Sure.
for you on that, Josh. About how are your numbers running right now with what you're keeping capacity at the jail?
Well, I always caution people right now, trying to base it off of our numbers with COVID. I would say pre-COVID numbers, I think, are more accurate. You know, we were in that 15 to 20, but again, remember that those were only the ones that we could get into jail.
Right.
There's so many
Okay.
people out here.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Well, the reason I'm asking is because when this whole deal came up, I did a little bit of research. So if you look at, I think Washakie County, because Wyoming runs different, every county is mandated to have a jail in Wyoming as versus what Montana is. Washakie County is probably as close to our numbers as what Carbon County is. And so they all have, well, you know, Cody has a newer jail, stuff like that. So I was looking at what their numbers were and what their beds,
Mhm.
so you could still possibly rent out or whatever. So I think Washakie County is about half of what Cody is, about 50 beds. What their numbers given were, I think their max was 36 that they ever filled it at.
The idea is that it's built with the new design. I've said 20 to 25 if we had our own and we could get some of these other people that are on the bubble right now.
Yeah.
And if it's a 50-bed ballpark, that still gives us a couple things. One, to rent out rooms. beds. And then two, for us to never have to add on. I think if we ever got to Carbon County where we have 50 people of our own people in jail, one, that's gonna be a long time, and two, start to do things wrong.
Yeah, right,
So all you do is you just have less beds to rent out, but I mean, it's a cost, and public safety is not free. I think that's at the end of the day what people gotta decide, and, you know,
it's like having a car that you haven't had a payment on for years.
Yeah.
And then it goes to hell and you have to buy one.
exactly,
It's ugly.
it's exactly right.
Yeah.
And you're right, and Tammy's right, we're required to have a jail, we got around it by contracting with other people, just as you guys are required to provide law enforcement, you have it.
Yeah.
You just wanna went another route to do it, and it's kind of the same approach. But we wanna make sure I'm a very conservative person, I think you guys understand that, so I wanna plan together with numbers before I even go public with it. But we got, Wednesday night, we should have a pretty good meeting with, Shane?
Healthy.
Helting.
It's Eric. Eric
You got
and Carla.
We got Shane.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
big
realize
one.
there was anybody else.
He's the boss, I think. You know, so that, you'll start seeing some of that, and you can dial into those. I mean, you can zoom in. You'd have to get that from the commissioner, they don't have that right offhand, or log onto the website.
Does the Carbon County News print anything about these meetings? Or is it,
Well, I had to ask
is it
them.
skewed?
It's way skewed, I'll be
Okay.
honest, because I met with them
Yeah,
after that last article, and it was pretty, we had a very honest conversation. So we're taking a different approach to it. I mean, basically, our idea now is we are going to present topics. Instead of trying to cover this whole issue in one article, okay, this week, we're gonna cover why we need a jail. And maybe, I think we're already past that point. I
Right.
think people are
We
tired
should
of
be.
us. We should be, if not. But, you know, then mental health, you know, everyone talks about mental health. Well, we have a plan for mental health. And maybe next week's article is focused on mental health versus trying to lump this mess together.
yeah.
But after that last article, I met with the editor, Alistar, and one of the commissioners, and I don't get wound up about much. But we were pretty excited about that. You know, it's hard enough to do it when it's not skewed.
Yeah,
We just want a fair shake.
right.
Or don't cover it, please. That
Yeah.
was, yeah,
Yeah.
so. I think we're on the right track for that, and we're gonna do our part, and he said he's gonna do his part, so I guess time will tell. Yeah, a lot of things, I mean, for us, that's our big thing working, so. We can tell it's gonna get busy, March is already picking up with the weather and spring breaks, we always tend to see that, people come to Red Lodge and just trickles over, so.
You're having a meeting this coming Wednesday,
Wednesday at 6.
so at 6, where's it gonna be at?
Well, it'll
It's
be,
all Zoom?
Virtual.
it can be a couple options, on Zoom, or it can be in person at Joliet Fire Hall.
Okay.
It could be at the Red Lodge Commissioner's Office. That's the actual detention facility meeting, but you can zoom in. But the one thing, hopefully that'll work on Wednesday, I'm gonna go to that meeting at 6, I'm gonna try to get over to LEPC in Bridger at City Hall, probably about 7:30. We kinda have an update, but, it should be a good meeting, cause it's gonna be that, buyer's agent, owner's agent. He's gonna do a lot of the talking and just kinda make sure that, and he's did, Yellowstone County, did Lewis and Clark jails, he does have experience in it. You know, we were on the right track, it just reaffirms what we were already doing.
Yeah,
Somebody that looks into those details, and he's doing the Bridger School, she said, so. I think it's a good addition to this project. And overall, it's to benefit the taxpayers, his job is.
They just know the ins and outs
Knows the
without
little
having to
things.
do the research, and they're solid. They know because they've done it 100 times, a million times. I don't know how many times,
Yeah,
a lot. So it's
we're
really,
gonna-
really awesome.
We're gonna
They
take
helped
the
us
lessons
through
he's
that.
learned.
Yeah, they helped us through that Bridger one. Just
Yeah.
amazing what they know.
Yeah,
So at 6 o'clock at the fire hall?
in Joliet.
Joliet,
Come on
okay.
over, yeah.
Josh, I know you don't have a lot to do with county health,
Sure.
but.
More than you think.
Really? Okay, well then, good. This question might be right up your alley.
Sure.
I understand that there is a new COVID injection or vaccine that doesn't require the severe cold temperatures to keep. Is there any chance that a little town like Fromberg with a refrigerator out here might be a place of vaccine, be able to be administered to some of the local people that maybe don't have the ability to get to Red Lodge or to Joliet because of the fact that this thing is a little easier to hold and to maintain?
Yeah, that's a great point, trying to have it set up over here at the Bridger.
I mean, they could send a nurse around once a week or once every 2 weeks and take care of some of these older folks. We have an aging population.
Absolutely.
And I think it's probably important, especially in light of the new process that's coming on board and is on board, to be able to administer that a little easier.
Yeah,
Would you look into that perhaps for us?
Yeah, I will, because I know that, I got my first shot, and it was probably 300, 200 people at the Civic Center when we were in that first.
In Red Lodge?
Yeah, and I don't know anywhere else in the county that you could have got a shot, my
Right.
doctor.
Yeah, because that stuff
Well,
has
they
to be at
had the
200
clinic in
degrees
Bridger.
below
So
zero
they-
or something.
Okay,
I know you
February
could-
11th, they had one in
You
Bridger.
call in now and put you on the list,
you're on the list now,
and then even if you're old,
like the 1C.
over 70, it doesn't matter.
Now you're
You're
just
on
on the list, yeah.
We're on the
There was
list.
an update today on
They said it might be
Facebook
2 weeks or
saying
more.
that if you fell into that 1C category, you should expect a call really soon.
No,
That was on Carbon Alert, I think.
it could be, but it's not what they told her on the phone.
Well, like I said, that was just today that I
I'm just
saw that on
afraid that
Facebook.
the elderly population is not gonna make that trip and just because it's not easy to do.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the senior center has something that might.
Well, we can, so, you know, she was right, Bridger did have something, but I think one, it's the availability of it, and then it has to be used up so quick. I
Right.
think once they open the bottle, it has to be gone within 6 hours and all that stuff. But, you know, on a whole, another deal, but kind of related is, you know, there is that cart transportation, the public transportation that just started up in Red Lodge.
Uh-huh.
And they actually came to Bridger and got a couple people and took them up and did that for them.
Wow, I wonder if that's happening in Brommer.
It's available countywide.
Yeah.
It just went online.
And I wonder whether or not our citizens are aware of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just advertising.
What's it called?
It's cart.
Is that something that maybe we can post on our website?
I can see what I can find. I know I get the emails, but I
Yeah.
don't actually
It's
read them.
It's ironic, it started.
Not verbatim.
It started as a, I know we got it wrong, but it started as an internship with the community foundation up there. And the kid came into the sheriff's office with Therese Edwards, who was the director. And we were trying to figure out how to get involved in accounting, I really pushed him to get outside of Red Lodge.
Right.
And we got to talking, and it was public transportation for this exact issue. And this probably started maybe 3 years ago.
We had a guy in here that
I
talked
remember
about it.
George, probably?
About 3 years ago.
Yeah, and so he went, I said, go to the city council, go to the senior centers. And so that is it's actually up and running. They have a van and they're doing it. And it just started probably 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Cool.
So it's free. I
Yeah,
don't know how they're gonna sustain it. I'm on that committee and I really push for it. I guess my big thing has been how you're gonna sustain it.
Yeah.
It's all grant-based right now, and where we're gonna be at in 2 years. I don't know.
When the grant money runs out.
Yeah, but I mean, there's definitely funding there for this exact thing, and my push was for the people that didn't have the means to get to their doctors or get their prescriptions. Cause we do that now, I mean, we'll occasionally we'll pick somebody up or run them in or to their clinic as a last resort, we'll stop at the drugstore and get their meds.
oh,
We
really?
just do that, I mean, that's what
That's
we're here
cool.
for at the end of the day,
That's
is
cool.
to help people out, but it's cart, and we'll try to see if we can get that out.
Yeah, I'll see. I was trying to download. I don't know if this is a flyer or a picture or what it is, but it's not one to download very quick.
We'll
But
see if
I'll
we
see what I can find.
can get it over here to whoever, you guys can put it on your Facebook.
Okay. Thanks,
Facebook
Josh.
seems to be the magic way to get things done, so.
For sure.
Well, thanks.
Appreciate taking up so much of your time,
Appreciate it.
Josh.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments for the sheriff? Next on the agenda is approve the minutes for,
What's that?
February?
February.
Minutes from
Yeah.
February.
February minutes.
I'll make a
What did I
motion
write?
to approve the minutes
Oh.
from February,
That's what I wrote.
I didn't get it.
Oh, they're right there.
and they were online as well.
That's nice.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from February.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for the February 2nd meeting, 2021. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It has passed. Approved claims. Has everybody had a chance to look at the claims and sign everything?
Did make a motion to approve checks number 21-825 through 21-829. Electronic checks numbers 89-336 through 89-333.
Are you reading the payroll summary or the claims?
Oh,
Oh,
think
I don't
it's
know
the
what you're
claims.
reading, because it's down here what you need to be reading. That must be last month's.
This one?
Yeah, and then this one's next. So I'm like, those
Yeah.
check numbers don't match what I have.
21-832 through 21-851.
Yes.
Okay, and 999-885 through 999-884, or 99-984.
Mm-hmm.
Make a motion to approve.
And I'll second that as well.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the claims for checks 21-832 through 21-851 and electronic checks of $999.85 through $999.84. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, payroll summary for checks 21-825 through 21-829, electronic checks of 89-336 to 89-330.
Make a motion to approve the payroll summary as check numbers provided.
I'll second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the checks 21-825 to 21-829, electronic checks of 89-336 through 89-330. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Old business, MMIA property renewal. Did you guys get a chance to kind of look at that?
Didn't print you each a copy of that stuff that kind of lined out the difference between contents value and building value. But I've got them here for reference. I think I maybe gave Tim one, but not everybody. I can't remember.
I think everybody has one.
Oh, did I just, I might have changed my mind and made one for
I think
everybody.
everybody has one.
Okay.
Sometimes I freak out about wasting paper and then I get over it.